Hello and welcome to this episode of a series of videos all about the Ultra Challenges by Action Challenge. If you've enjoyed this video, there are loads more videos you can go and watch as well. But as always, I'm joined by experienced walker. We've got Jim Smith, we've got running coach Matt Buck and event director Julian Risley. Guys, today we're all talking about something that's really important, about pacing yourself, how important it is to pace yourself in the event, but not just that, obviously leading up in the training as well. So Jim, from your point of view as an experienced walker, how important is it to get the pacing right in training?
Setting yourself an achievable goal and working up to that is always sound advice for taking on any sort of challenge. You're looking for more, if anything, the amount of time being spent on your feet rather than distance, so getting your feet being used to moving and out there for long periods of time, building up to the challenge. And then I would say for first time challenges, really your goal is looking to finish and finish strong. To kind of knock down the timing sort of goals down a little while and focus on welfare management and finishing the event strong as opposed to shooting for a particular time. And
if you do want any tips on welfare and footwear, please go and check one of our other videos. It's all about your footwear and sort of making sure you finish with nice healthy feet. Julian, from your point of view as well, you're really keen for people to finish it, as Jim touched on there, to finish it essentially, not to retire, because to push yourself too hard.
Yeah, I think it's just striking that balance, particularly for first timers, for a better description. Don't get fixated with, I've got to do it under 24 hours. I know the websites sort of imply that in one or two instances, but first time out, enjoy it. It's a hard one. Make sure you spend the time at the rest stops. That's what they're there for. So if you need to be patched up by medics, or make sure you got a good meal inside, you have that cup of tea. Don't be sitting there watching the clock all the time. You'll know if you can do it at the pace. And if you go off too fast, well, chances are you're not going to do it. Yeah.
From your point of view, Matt, as a runner, pacing yourself is really key, isn't it?
Yeah. And not going off too fast is the key thing. I did the South Downs Way Challenge last year, and the amount of times I had conversations with other runners who were walking and they'd said, I went off too fast. We all do it, I do it myself.
It's the adrenaline, I guess, so wanting to do well.
Exactly. But just really try and hold back. The first call to the first half, first 50k, just hold back and just save that energy, and then if you feel great with 20k to go, then you can smash it as hard as you want, but just hold back and just conserve that energy as much as you can.
And Julian, is there a maximum time that most runners would finish it a lot sooner, but is there a maximum time for walkers to finish the event?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we have some runners do, in fact Matt's probably one of them, some do it in under 9 hours. This is 100 kilometres we're talking about. I guess the other end of the scale there is some walkers doing it 35 hours. Yeah. Now clearly they've had good breaks. They're determined to finish, and we kind of tool up around that. We want to see people finish and kind of finish their challenge. Yeah? So there's plenty of time.
Jim, as a walker, do you have a training plan for how much, if you're a first-time walker, and it's very different now, you've done so many of these, but as a first-time person taking part, they've never walked 100 kilometres before, perhaps even 50 if they're taking part in one of the halves, how far ahead of the event do you start the training to get the pace right?
It's a good question, because quite often I'll see people sign up the year before and almost go straight out and start clocking up the miles long before the event. You run the danger of either going too far too quickly, leading to injuries, which can happen even for walkers, especially if you're not used to being that physically active and doing that sort of distance, but you're going to peak too soon. You're looking at, I would say, around about 2 to 3 months before the event, you want to start your training, and you're starting off with regular distances and slowly upping gradually. If anything, focus more on the time on your feet as opposed to the distance until you kind of hit the peak of your training. I would say 2.5, 3 weeks before the event, just to give you that buffer in case something does go wrong, or you need to recover from any sort of minor injury, and then start tailing it down so you've got plenty of energy and you come to the event fresh. Don't worry about getting out there and doing a year's worth of training before the event. Just ramp it up sensibly, slowly and steadily.
We actually do track people on these events as well, don't we? They get sort of bleeped in at certain rest stops along the way, so we know where they are, and family members can see what point they've got to each stop. So that's obviously quite a key thing for our point of view. But people wear watches when it tracks the distance that they've run or walked, and they don't always match up with the 100 kilometres that we've marked out. So why is that?
Well, we see it a lot these days, whether it's kind of Fitbit devices, phones, Garmin type watches, there's gadgets galore out there. And we map these things super accurately, and when we say it's 100 kilometres, it's pretty much 100 kilometres. GPS actually, people think, oh, it must be accurate, smart technology, very smart technology, but you get drift, you stop at rest stops, depending on the GPS signals, it still thinks you're moving. So GPS devices tend to overestimate, and time after time we get people, your event was 110 kilometres, and well, actually it's not. Some of it's a technology, and that's only a kind of 10% drift, which actually over 27, 28 hours, very easy to do. So when we say it's 100, it's pretty much.
Also, as you get tired, you tend to not
Yeah,
run or walk in a straight line. So
there's all sorts
that
of
adds a bit on.
Yeah.
for different measurements of distance.
And you mentioned the rest stops there. Again, in another video of ours, we do talk about it a bit more, but just a quick recap on what's applied at those rest stops that can sort of help people with the pacing.
Yeah, but full range of services, obviously toilets, so there are covers there for the weather, so all the rest stops have big marquees, pretty important if the weather's not so good. There are medics, trek masters come out of there to support you during the night, so plenty of food and drink. I guess that's one of the main things, and that includes full-blown meals at halfway and 75, and a nice meal at the end as well. So it's lots of food and drink and help.
Well, thank you very much. Hope that's given you a bit of some helpful hints and tips to take on the Ultra Challenge as best as you can. If you haven't booked yet, then please do. We'd love to see you on the start line of one of our Ultras this year. There are more videos just like this, chatting about a whole host of topics, so please do go and check those out as well. Push yourself further this year. We're a PYF. Get yourself onto the start line of one of our Ultras.